bear with me whilst I do the usual of just finishing setting up. To bind this, because it's not anything that you can do beforehand. Come on, let's go to that, and we'll go to live chat. Hello there, Maureen. Hello there, Teresa. And then I want to do that. And click on that. Okay. I have a feeling. Hang on. I got a feeling. Ooh, ooh. Just lift that up just a tad. Oh, heck. I didn't want to do that. I'm wrecking the joint. This blooming microphone. I have a feeling, and I'll come to that, that there's not going to be many joining us this evening. For a couple of reasons. Oh, hang on, I'm still not right. Am I with me? Phone. Tilt it that way a little. I have a feeling there's not going to be many of us. Hi there, Margaret. Because, well, Tim Holtz has just had his video. I don't know if he's still... I'm still messing about with my camera, sorry. This isn't not normally such a problem. Come on. Hi there, Suzanne. Oh, look, it's still not right. Right. I don't know what your problem is, but get sorted. There, let's try that. Might change it all again in a minute. Hi there, Sue. Yes, I have a feeling that there's not going to be too many joining us because, as I say, Tim Holtz has had his live video. I don't know if that's still going. Hi there, Scrap Newry. Oh, bless you, Teresa. But I think that's not quite the wide case of things. And I also noticed as well that Shannon Green is actually doing a live. So I'm off now because I want to go and watch Shannon. Bye. So I'll be, after I've finished doing this live, I'm going off to go and watch Shannon's replay because I like Shannon Green. She makes me laugh. So yeah, so I think that a few that might occasionally pop in to my lives, well, they're friends with Shannon, so I would imagine that they'll be over there, over in Texas. I think that's where Shannon is. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. So, right, so I've created a hashtag. Oh, hang on, I'm not putting my cup of tea there. I'll be knocking it over again. I've created a hashtag, ladies, and the hashtag is hashtag I'm wombling. So that's what I'm going to be putting in the title. So I'll put the title of what it is that I'm actually going to be making, and then I'll put hashtag I'm wombling, so that you'll know what it's about. And if you do your own videos, or if you mention it on any groups, if you would please use the hashtag I'm wombling. At least then if I do a search on it, I'll be able to find those posts, or if you post your own videos of what it is that you're making alongside my videos, then I should be able to find them. Hi there, Wendy. Hi there, Pat. So I want to get straight down to it because I don't want to keep you here forever and a day. Not because I want to go and rush off and go and watch Shannon. Oh, that's it, Spanners as well. Yeah, there's only more in with us this evening because Max and Natalie are away. Julie's got friends. Tracy's been at work. been a bit of a hectic one for everyone. But yeah, so I want to come on to show you tonight how I'm going to decorate my, or start to make my cover. And then there'll be another live tomorrow night, because I want to talk to you about starting to think about how you can decorate your pages. We want a womble. Maybe that should be the hashtag. We want a womble. Bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So yes, so tonight I need to get this part done so that it's kind of dry, ready for tomorrow night. Okay. Now then, I decided that I was going to use this one of the Amazon book envelopes. So as I said in the previous video, basically underneath these flaps is where you to put your book, and then these flaps go over the top, and then it folds over and it shuts like that, and then your book is sat nice and snug inside. All right, so that's what I'm using. You will need to look for yourself at your own packaging and decide what it is that you want to use. I've also checked by, hang on a minute, bit of paper. So I've just got a normal A4 sheet of paper, folded it in half, just to give me a rough idea of what sort of size my pages are going to be. So I know that if I do a journal just purely with A4 paper, I can already tell that that is going to be big enough. But obviously then the envelopes that I'm using are a lot bigger. Excuse me, Burpingtons. So I know that this space for the cover that I've chosen is going to be big enough to accommodate all of those things. Okay. Now, there was a lady who mentioned about, you know, this being the spine area, and for me it's on the wrong side. Why don't I turn it inside out? So if I do that, and even do that, see, then I've got a spine on this side, but I've only got this section here to support it all. Okay, so I have kind of used the turning it inside out, but I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. Hi there, Nikki. Hello, nice to be here today. I thought of this when Man got a stack of pretty cards in the mail the other day from a charity organisation. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm chopping off this flap piece here, all right? And here's one I prepared earlier. Somewhere. I've got piles of paper everywhere, because in this project I've got like a pile that wants, I'll need to do a workshop on that bit, a pile that I need to do a video on that bit, a pile that it's everywhere behind me. Oh. So this is going to be my cover. All right, so I've cut the flap off, so it's just a straightforward front and back, and then I've got these two flaps here on the outside, because one of the things that I thought about was making this a stacked envelope front cover. All right, so the natural fold of the box was here, right at the edge of these flappy bits here. All right, so there's a natural fold there. So what I then did was I sort of measured across about 3/4 of an inch to an inch-ish, and then scored, and then I was able to work out then where I needed to trim off the flap piece. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to need is, I'm like a cooking show. Why? Because I've got a bit prepared here and a bit prepared there, and here's one I made earlier. I just want to use a normal big envelope. Now, I know that we're meant to be using trash, but I didn't have just an ordinary plain large envelope. And also, our A4 big envelopes weren't big enough for what I wanted to do. So I had to, fortunately, someone sent me these envelopes from America, and these are a lot bigger than ours. So I'll give you the measurements of these. So this actual envelope measures 10 inches wide, that's a big envelope, by 13 inches long. Right, so that's my big envelope, and I want this to be part of the front cover. Right, so that will end up wrapping around the book cover. Right, so that will wrap around like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this free. This isn't going to be adhered to anything. And then the spine area, the envelope will be stuck to the spine area, and then the back part will be stuck to the back to form a pocket. But, you know, we'll come to that shortly. So I'm going to put that over to the left hand side, so when I ask where did I put it, you can all tell me that I put it over there. Oh, get you, Suzanne. No. Suzanne's just put up, I'm cooking on gas because I found my Wombles annual from 1976. Wow, that's amazing. Oh dear. Okay. So I've had to think about, hang on, let me just readjust this microphone a minute because it's in my way. I've had to think about the way that this is all going to come together so I could work out the steps of what needs to come first, okay? So if you remember, just get it out. In the last video, I said that I'd got this piece of newspaper, that someone had sent me something in the post wrapped in this piece of newspaper. So what I've done is I've ripped up just purely some of the text of the newspaper. I don't want any images, I just want the text. Right, so I've gone through one of those sheets of the newspaper and I've ripped out all the text pieces so far. I have also pulled out, and I know that this hasn't been received in the mail. Hi there, Kim. You're not late, lovely. We've not long started. I've also pulled out some sewing pattern paper. Right. So forgive me for that bit because I know it's you know, not come through the post. Neither of these. But these are tea bags, empty tea bags. So after I've made my cup of tea, of which there's a fair few, believe you me, I have dried them, cut them open and tipped the tea out. The tea I've kept, it's in a little bag, but these are all the empty tea bag pieces that I have kept. Okay, so I'm going to be using some of those as well. Bonjour Noël, all the way from France. We could stand on a chair and wave to you, Noël, because you're only over the little water. Deborah's from all the way from Virginia. Lovely to see you. Did I miss anyone? So I've said hello to Kim. I've said hello to, oh, Michelle Ann. I missed you, sorry. Hello there, Michelle Ann. You've not caught a live show before. Well, well done you. You've made it. And then the other thing that I've also collected as well, which I'm going to be using to decorate this is that Amazon packaging that I showed you. All right. So those are the 4 main ingredients for me for decorating my front cover. Looks a little bit dull and boring right now, but don't you panic. The other thing that I've got off to the side here, just as a maybe not, I've got some book pages just in case I need a little bit more. Okay, so I have got some book pages over there. Now, when it comes to making a journal, Let me have a slurp of my tea. Hang on, I've moved it over the other side. When it comes to making a journal, as I say, you can either be... Oh, blimey. She's spoken to us in French. Could you parlay in the old anglais, please, Noelle, rather than in your own language, just purely so as everyone and myself, so that we can all read it, please, and thank you, because I don't know what that says. Slurp of tea. So when it comes to making a journal, you need to think about the concept, the idea, the colours, the type of journal that it is that you actually want to make, because that then helps you then with the decoration side of it. Now, I want something that is fairly neutral, so that as I'm adding decorations to it, that's the bit that stands out, is the decorations. So if I've got a neutral background, then it means that the decorations will come to the fore and will be more prominent visually. Okay, so I actually want to make a journal that is more neutral lemons and greens with a hint of blue in it. That's the aim. It might not end up going that way, but that is my aim, to go on that sort of route. That's the line that I want to take with my journal. But it means that I need to have fairly neutral backgrounds for those colours to then stand out and sing. Okay. Dreamy's just put, hello, my real name is Randy. Hello there, Randy. And Kim Laura's put, Carol, you sound better today. Thank you. Yes, it has actually started to warm up a little bit more again, and so so it means that my chest can cope better. When it quickly changes to cold, my chest just goes and it freezes, and you know, anyway. So Susan's here from Australia. Hi there, Susan. And is it possible to focus a bit sharper? It's sharp enough at my end, Maggie, so it might be your own. You might need to just refresh the page. It might be your internet service at your end. As I say, it's a sharp enough picture for me at my end. So yeah, so I want it to be kind of... Oh, I don't know what Deb's just done. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to work out what Deb's just done. I don't know what you've done there, Deb. And Misty's here, first timer here. Can't wait to see, because I love a good junk journal. Well, it's lovely to see you all here anyway. So that's what I say, is that I want the background to be fairly neutral and then lift it up with the other colours along the way. So that's where I'm going with this, and that's why I've chosen these to decorate the main part of the cover, and then the decorations themselves will actually start to add to it. Okay, so I've got the cover. I know that I want to stick this envelope on the front as well. So as I say, if we're doing layered envelopes, so this will line up with the front side of my cardboard cover here, and it's exactly the same height as the book cover, and then that will then wrap around to the back. Now, as you can see, by the time I've wrapped it round, it doesn't quite meet the edge, and that's fine, because I can make that into a side loading pocket there. Okay, but before I add this, if I'm decorating it all up with this and I want to cover over these rough edges of the cardboard, it means that I need to put some of these in place first before I add this envelope. Okay, so let me just put them to one side a minute, so hopefully you can see better if I lay it out flat. Okay, so that's my cover. This edge, which is the flap edge, is going to line up with this edge of the cardboard here. So that will line up there, and that will be free floating. Then it'll be glued down at the spine, and then it'll be part glued onto the back. But because of the fold, it means that that will fall short by this much here. So I need to cover over this part here with some of these papers to make it a nice neat edge and for it to all tie together. I need to make sure that this top edge is all nice and neat because I don't want all this jagged edge. So I've all those things to do before I can add this envelope. Before I can decorate this part, I need to think about the closure that I'm going to be adding. Alright, so I will be adding the closure on there before I then decorate this part up. So sometimes making a journal, it just means that you've got to go through this process, and especially with something that's a little bit more complicated than the norm. Okay, so what I'm going to start to do is I want to add this brown paper, and I want to add it around the edges and fold it over to the back side. Okay, for those ladies that are saying it's not very clear for you, I'm sorry, that's nothing that I can do for you because it's perfectly fine here. It might be your own internet service and you may need to just refresh your own page. Let me just get rid of that. Oh, now the glue that I'm going to be using is this Liquitex acrylic medium matte gel. If you want to use PVA or Mod Podge, that is entirely up to you, but this is the glue that I prefer for doing this kind of work. And what I'm going to do is just use my cheapy brush, and I'm not going to measure these out. I just want to rip some pieces off. Oh, hang on, tea bags are flying everywhere. So it's a little bit like doing collage, but on a little bit of a plainer basis. Okay. Where is, I tell you, I've too much stuff going on my, I only had it out the other day. Where did I put it? Oh, that'll do. Right, I'm just going to use this to protect my table. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some glue along this edge here, and then down the front. Now, as I say, I'm looking at the papers, the trash that I've collected. If you want to just use book pages or you want to use just music paper, then that is entirely up to you. Use what you have, use what suits your actual needs, and create the size of cover that you actually need as well. Okay, so I'm going to add some of these around the edge, and then I'll be folding them over to the other side. And I'm just going to put some glue on the top as well. So it just helps to seal them in place. And I'm just going to add the odd bit of newspaper in here as well, so that it starts to blend with the rest of the design once it all starts coming together. So at the moment it will look nothing more than a mess, but eventually it will start to build up something quite beautiful. Sarah's just put, I've been a very busy womble, that she's had to hide it all. Yeah, I think Maureen wishes that she'd hidden hers as well, because her hubby was super efficient and went and threw it all away, didn't he, Maureen? She was chuntering a bucket full. She'd made herself a lovely little pile of rubbish, and then her hubby came along and went, "Ooh, that one's putting in the bin." Bless. So as I say, all I'm doing is I'm just putting paper around this edge on the inside, and then I'll be wrapping it round to the other side, and then that will give me a lovely nice smooth edge. Now this is the boring part about doing lives, is that you've just got to sort of stick with me. Stick with me. Dum-dum. Just whilst I go through this boring bit. But as I say, I haven't had the time to record any videos the past sort of 2 weeks, because I was busy with the pop-up shop. And for those of you that don't know, once a month on my Facebook group I have a pop-up shop, and I want the paper down first, I think. And my granddaughter normally comes through once a fortnight to come and help me with the packing and stuff of it all. But unfortunately, they got the dreaded COVID at their house. Gesso you can use as a glue, but it's not actually designed to be a glue, clear or white or black. So yeah, so I had to do all the pop-up shop stuff all on my own, and it was a big project, so it kind of wore me out, and it left me with no time to do any record videos. And the only way that I'd got time to do a video was to do it as a live, like I'm doing now. Now the advantage of doing lives is that it means that I get to chat with you guys, and also it means that if you've got any questions, then you can ask me, because I'm here. Doesn't this look a mess at the minute, eh? But I promise you, it'll all come together. I'm just having a look on the screen and it does look a right old mess. But you know, you've got to start somewhere. So I'll have some sideways on as well. Don't want it all. And I'm using fairly big pieces, fairly big chunks of paper. I think a lot of people make the mistake when it comes to collage and doing much smaller pieces of paper, not doing it quite big enough. I want to put one of them on there, but I need to wait. So I've not got any paper there, but I am going to put a tea bag there. Let's have one of them across there. Then I can have a tea bag there. So I've done one of these covers like this before, and at the time you're like, oh my god, that looks dreadful. And then by the time you've put all the nice decorative bits on too, oh, Cindy's late to the party. That's no good, Cindy. Right, so tea bag, bits of the sewing paper. Right, I think that that's enough for the inside cover. What I'm going to do, which is going to be a little bit difficult because that's got glue on it, but I want to fold this over and fold this onto the back. Because I don't need to cover all of this area, because this is where that big orangey sort of envelope is going to be sticking. I just needed to cover over the edges of the cardboard to make it nice and neat. And then, as I say, tomorrow night I'll start talking to you about painting the pages and all sorts of different techniques that you can utilise. Yeah, I think that's picking up the ink from... Hang on, let me just swap this round a minute. So the ink that I did on there, it's picking it up. So if I do that, and I don't want pink. Hi there, Danielle. Okay. So if we now fold that back over there, I can fold these over. And because, as I say, because I'm putting this envelope on the back side, I don't need to cover the whole piece. I just need to put it around the edge where it needs to be neat and tidy, or where I want it to be neat and tidy, I should say. A bit of a difference, isn't there, between it needing to be neat and tidy and me wanting it to be so. A bit more go under there. Okay. Wish I knew where my mat was, and then it wouldn't be sticking. Fiddly diddly dee. Okay. Across this bottom edge. As I say, when you're doing recorded, you can cut all of this bit, this bit out, so that you're not having to watch glue dry. What's that put? Brenda's put, I started to make a travel journal for my granddaughter for our trip to England because it's for her birthday, and she's coming to York, which is where I used to live. And had I still lived there, I would have met up with you, Brenda. Okay. So just a slight recap. This is going to be the front of the journal, but there's going to be an envelope on top of that. There's the spine here. This is the back side, which is where the envelope's going to be sitting. So I don't need to cover the whole of this with paper. I just need the edges to be nice and neat. All right. And then when you open it up on the inside, this one I've already started covering with some papers. This I now need to cover with some papers and wrap it over these edges on this side. All right. So I'm afraid this is going to be a bit boring for you guys, but let's hopefully find a subject that we can talk about whilst I'm doing this boring bit. So, who watched Tim Holtz earlier, and what was he selling? Because I didn't get to watch it. Just whilst I carry on gluing this. Just put, oh, that would have been great. Love to meet you. Yeah, see, I don't live in, it would have been lovely to meet you too, but I don't live in York anymore, which is a shame, isn't it? And I loved York. It's a beautiful city to visit. Let's have that one wrapping over the top. And Teresa's put best way to spend an evening. Getting a bit fed up of that edge sticking on that paper underneath. Wish I knew where my mat was. Plod on, Carol, plod on. So I'm basically doing the same again. I'm just sticking it around the edge to fold over. And then putting some in the middle as well. Oh, Danielle's put, oh God, I've just put glue on my cheek. That were a bit daft. So Danielle's just put, he has new dies and now on again talking about storage. Oh, he's still going, is he? Blimey, he's been on a long time. Because he started 2.5 hours ago. Wow. I have to say, I do like Tim Holtz products. I can't always afford them. And I do own a few things, but I don't own lots. I just wish they were a bit cheaper. Because we don't get the sales here in the UK the same way as the guys in America do. I want that one in the middle, I think. So, you know, like when Michael's has 40% off, we'd be lucky to get like £1 off a Tim Holtz product. Let alone 40%. Okay, a bit more brown. I have to say, when I came to America a couple of years ago now, it was like one of the places that I wanted to go to was Michael's, and I was actually quite disappointed with the Michael's that I visited. But I went to, I think it was Joann's. I've done a video on it anyway. I had a field day. Thought it was wonderful. But I do pick and choose what products I want to buy, because, you know, my budget just will not always stretch. I'm going to leave a gap there for a tea bag, I think. My budget just won't stretch. And I just think, you know, whilst I love them, I can't afford them all. And I want to pick and choose what I'm actually going to purchase. I don't feel that I have the need to own them all. I really think about what it is that I wanted to, what I would use. So I'm not just going to buy stuff just for buying its sake. I want to think about, you know, that I'm going to be able to use it. So I only have a selection of the oxides. I only have a selection of the distress inks, so that I've got a little bit of something to play with. But, you know, each to their own. If that sort of floats your boat and that's what you want to do, and, you know, to be a collector, looking a bit samey at the minute, aren't I? Let's put that one there. But, you know, for me, I really pick and choose what it is that I have in my collection, because I try and think logically about it and think, you know, what am I actually going to use that for? How many times would I use it? And whilst I like, is it, I'm trying to remember the name of it now, is it Kitsch Flamingo? Flamingo Kitsch, something like that, isn't it? I thought it was a lovely colour. I thought, you know, the flamingo bird, whatever her name is, Flossie Ann, whatever, thought she was lovely. But how many times would I use it? And I'm not spending all that money for something that I would probably use just that once and never again. So yeah, I really pick and choose. But yeah, I've seen a lot of my American friends saying things like, you know, they're cutting down on these papers, they're cutting down on those. They think that, you know, there isn't a market for it anymore, and it's like, you need to look at YouTube, mate, and you need to look at the sorts of things that we do and the sorts of products that we need. But I do wish the English market would be a little bit braver with some of the things that they sold. But they all get frightened, you see, that, you know, they'll buy all this stuff in and then no one will buy it. This will start to turn out miraculous shortly. It looks dead boring at the minute. Right, okay, let's have you there on the edge. And then I'll have you there on that edge. And this is why everyone's resorting to buying online. But one of the problems that we've got now, Kitsch Flamingo, yeah, thought it was that one. One of the problems that we've got buying online now is buying from abroad. Even that's become difficult because it costs so much money. You're like, blimey. I mean, I used to order some products from America for my pop-up shop, but they have made it now nigh on impossible for me to do that. Hey there, Karen. Because they're just charging an arm and a leg for postage. Oh, that reminds me. Pop-up shop orders are on the way. Well, because daughter was able to come through today, we were being able to get to the post office. Ooh, don't want you in there. I've done round that edge, okay. Waft that a bit. In fact, to tell you what, just whilst that glue goes off a little, I'm just going to have a slurp of tea somewhere. Just catch up with a bit of chat. Maureen's put agreed, Carol, and it's a shame we can't get the small ones to try them out. I mean, I used to work at Hobbycraft. Oh, I would give my advice because I do, and you know, no, didn't want to know. Anyway, Karen's put, I was just about to say that we have Michaels in my hood. Rarely useful. I don't even know if they have Tim Holtz anymore. Pickings were slim. Tim Holtz paper is the best weight. See, Tim stopped doing his paper in the paper pads, hasn't he? He's doing the packs now. Phyllis is here. Hi there, Phyllis. Lorraine's here. Linda, that's surprising. I thought you American crafters had a much better choice of material. Well, they do. Overall, they do have a much better choice. If they compared to what we had here in the UK, they would not be complaining. But as I say, for me, in terms of being able to buy products that are readily available in America, but not over here, really difficult now for me to import them because they just charge you so much for the postage. Okay, we're going to risk it. This is still wet. I don't want to get my dryer on it just yet. Okay, I have a feeling this might stick. Let me do that. See if that will help. And now I want to fold these edges over. Now, I do have a problem with my phone because I've had to use this microphone. It's the battery is running down quite quickly, and I have round about an hour. How to put that? I have around about an hour before my phone goes, oh no, I can't do that, I'm running out of charge. So if the video suddenly pauses and looks as though I've gone, I might not have. It might just be the battery is going, excuse me, but I just need to let you know that your battery's running low, and because it always stops the video, it pauses it. So if you suddenly see a spinny thing going on, it's just my phone that is going, excuse me, I just need to let you know. That cut in there. It's been all polite to let me know, and I'm trying to record. But as soon as it starts to get to that time, I'll see where I'm at and tell you whether I can go off and go and charge it for another half an hour or so. But it'll take me a little while for it to charge back up, so that I can just come back and finish this part off so that you can see what it is that I'm doing. So as I say, if I suddenly disappear, don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Okay, that wants to go in there. You reminded me actually, Karen, when you put up the other day about, was it yesterday or today, you put up about your tea bags. You'd got your tea bags ready, and I thought, oh my god, yeah, my tea bags, I've forgotten about those. So I'm adding tea bags thanks to you, because as I say, I'd forgotten. Okay, all right, let me do another. See, blooming glue still wet. See, if I was recording this, you wouldn't see any of this, you see. Let me move that out of the way, and then you can see a little bit better. So this is the inside of my journal. All right, looks a great big horrible messy clump of papers at the moment, but trust me, it won't look like this when it's all done and finished. The back side, the paper is only curved round to the back, nothing in the middle, because this is where the big envelope is going to be sitting very soon. The front part of this cover, I'm going to cover just purely in this brown paper. Okay, both the underside, so all of this I'm just going to cover in the brown paper. These flaps I'm just going to cover in the brown paper. I just wanted the collage piece on the inside cover. Okay, so if I happen to cut off very soon, then at least you've got an idea of what it is that I'm doing. All right, so this piece is going to be collaged. This is all going to be plain brown paper, and I'm covering it all because I want to cover over these raw edges. So these I can use a much bigger piece. So let's have a look. So that way probably is going to be best. So I'm just going to cover the whole of that. I could paint it, but I don't want to. I want it to be the paper. So I don't want this text. And then just this piece of paper here, I'm going to sit on there where the fold is. So there's a fold line here, and it's the same on the bottom piece. So I'm just lining the paper up with this fold line bit. Okay, so that's going to sit on there, and then it'll fold round to the back. Just rip scraping that excess off. Okay. So I'm just going to stick this bit down, and then I'm going to go back to that inside cover. As I say, at least now you can just get to an idea of what it is that I'm doing. Oh, Noelle's going. Au revoir, Noelle. That's about the level of my French. Can I just say bonjour and au revoir? And comment allez-vous? It's the other bit I learnt in French at school. Oh, and quel âge? Quel âge avez-vous? And I don't mind that it's all crinkly. So I think it just all adds to the personality of it all. Stick that bit down. Fold that bit over because I'm going to be sticking something on the inside here, so it doesn't all need to be perfectly covered up. Right, so that's that front flap, the bottom flap, with my crinkly brown paper, but it's now given me a nice clean edge. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on this side as well. Okay, on this inside cover piece now, just to add a little bit more life to it, I'm going to add some of these tea bags. One there. Okay, and add that one there. Unfolded. And add a piece down there. So as you can see, look, just by adding these, even just these tea bags, it starts building up a little bit of character for it. Especially when they start laying on top of the text, because some of it starts to show through. And with using the newspaper, I've now added a little bit of history there as well, because it's a local newspaper. Sarah's going, she's on Nana duty. My granddaughter's sat downstairs packing up next week's pop-up shop parcels. Bless her little cotton socks. Okay, I want to add one more over here, I think. Yeah, and then I'm going to add some of the pattern paper on here as well. I love it when it just starts to come alive a little bit. So at first you know that people are looking at it going like, no, don't believe you, can't believe you, looks like a load of tat. And then you start to add a little bit of texture and a little bit of pattern, and you're like, ooh, actually, that is starting to look a little bit good. Okay, let's add a little bit of that on. So we'll have that overlapping all of it. think a little bit there. So have you all made a choice as to what kind of junk journal you're going to be making? Is there going to be a theme to your journal in terms of colour or style? I think I want a little tiny bit there. Well, as I say, the nice thing about sort of adding the tea bags and this tissue paper, I'm just talking to Teresa, is because it's semi-transparent. You get to see all the other layers underneath it, and this isn't it decorated yet. This is just making it into a nice background, an interesting background. But it's basically you're just ripping up bits of paper and sticking them on top of each other. Doesn't get much easier than that. But as I say, there are people who they tend to rip their pieces of paper a tad too small. You want nice big chunky pieces. So Wendy's puts you can't decide. Doesn't help I've had no junk mail this week. Typical, isn't it? Whenever you want junk mail, you don't get it. I'm going to put a piece up in that top corner. You see, to me at the moment, this still looks like a little bit of a mess. It's getting more personality, but it still looks a little bit messy because it's not all pulling together just yet. So, in fact, I might put that one upside down. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a bit crinkly. It doesn't have to be all nice and smooth. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this bit off. And I'm going to add that envelope on the front so that you can see what it is. Okay, I want a bit more tea bag over here, I think. Because I'm going to tone all this down so that it sort of starts blending together. But that might have to be on tomorrow's video. Once this is all dried. Okay, so that is what the inside is starting to look like. Okay, now as I say, at the moment it does look a little bit of a mess, but it will all come together, I promise. And then on the outside I'm going to be covering, like I've done with this piece here, crinkled or not, doesn't matter. I'm going to cover that one the same, and I'm going to cover these underneath these flaps the same as well. Okay, the back cover has only got those bits folded over. And then this is the envelope that I want sat on the top for now. I'm just debating, should I add it now? No, I'm going to finish doing all of these bits, I think, first. I think what I'm going to have to do, ladies, is I think I'm probably going to be best to kind of call it a day, because I've been going just about an hour. And as I say, we found that I was getting the spinny thing after about an hour, which is what we've been doing now. So rather than waiting for that to happen and everyone going, where's she gone? Is she gone? Is she still there? I think it sort of gives you a little bit of an idea. It allows me now the time for this glue to dry as I say, you've got an idea of where I'm coming from in terms of how I'm decorating this cover. And then in tomorrow's video, I'll show you how it kind of looks, and then I'll attach this so that you can definitely see how it's starting to look. Does that sound kind of fair to you guys, for me to do that? Brenda's put, she doesn't really have a theme, but going to make this journal as a model for the ones we do at day camp. I think it'll be interesting to get your feedback on that, Brenda, after you've been. Yeah, same time tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Because otherwise you're just going to continue watching me and glue drying, watching me adding bits of paper and glue drying. But I wanted you to get a sense of how I'm working on my cover so that you can sort of start to think it through for yourself. And then, as I say, by the time tomorrow comes, I'll be in a position to show you how I'm going to be making this looking prettier, as well as then showing you how I'm going to add that envelope and how it's all going to start to come together with the stacked envelope parts. So I think that that's probably a wise move to do that. As I say, that little spinny wheel is going to start very shortly. I know it is. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me. I didn't achieve as much as I would have hoped, but, you know, such is life sometimes. And I shall see you all again tomorrow, hopefully. If you're watching this on replay, I hope that you've enjoyed it too. And I'll see you all again tomorrow. And this will start to look more spectacular than it does now. All right. I shall see you all tomorrow, guys. Thanks ever so much for joining me again today. See you all very soon. And don't forget, hashtag I'm wombling, so that I can get to see some of your work too. Thanks again, girls. Bye for now. Thanks, Maureen, for moderating everyone. Keeping them all in check. See you later, lovies. Bye.